Hey guys, Game Off the Grid here.
And you are watching Captain Algebra Tee.
Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here, and I'm here with my pickups from May of 2020. Now things are starting to open up a little bit, so some stores are starting to get open, so I was able to actually game hunt this month, so I actually have some retro games, which I haven't had for a while. It's not just going to be like PS4 and Switch, which is great. But we're going to start off with some gifts from some of my buddies. First one is from Megadan, hashtag MegaPowers. So we got a really good deal from a buddy at work with some awesome games, and so there's one in there. I was really interested, so I just sent a message, hey, if you're willing to give that up, I'd love to have it, because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And of course, being a great guy that he is, he just gave it to me. I offered to give him something, and he wouldn't take anything. So he did give me the Complete in Box Super Empire Strikes Back. So I have Super Star Wars Complete in Box. Now I got this one Complete in Box. I just got to get Super Return of the Jedi. But it's super clean. It's got everything in it, even the plastic baggie for the game. Really, really cool. So absolutely love that one. Next two came from Gaming Off the Grid. So they had gotten a good lot and then was able to sell most of it and make their money back and stuff, and then some. And so they asked me and Megadan and probably some other people if there's any games we wanted. So there are a couple that I needed. And of course, like I gave them some games when they were here. We trade beer back and forth. So it ends up all being even in the end. But they first sent me Tecmo Super Bowl, which is a nice clean copy. My copy, there's a piece missing in the case that prevented the circuit board from staying in place when I put it into the console. And of course it was on the side with the label for the game. You know, I couldn't just like swap out the back of the cart for a different cart, so that kind of sucked. But the next one, which is really cool, is they know I'm going for a complete in box set of LGN NES games, and they got me a super clean copy of Spider-Man Return of the Sinister Six. This thing is pristine. The box, the game, it's got the manual, it's got a poster. It is just so nice looking. So that was really cool that they gave this to me. I have not spent a lot of time with this one, but I know this one it's not as bad as some of the other games on from LJN. But this is so cool. So thank you so much, Robert and Wes. Thank you, Megadan, for the Star Wars game. Really appreciate you guys. It was really cool that you did all this for me. And next, before things started opening up, I got the itch for some retro games, and I got some donations, some of my live streams, so I wanted to put it towards, obviously, the channel by getting some more games so I could add to the content. And so Video Game Cavern down in South Carolina that I learned about from NES Addict, they shipped their games, so I just went on there looking for some stuff, and I found some Sega Genesis games that I really wanted. First one, Richard Scarry's Busy Town. Now, this is not a game that I'm going to be playing a lot, but I played it back in the day on my uncle's Sega channel, and when I was a young kid, I thought it was really cool. It's for early childhood, ages 3 and up, so back then, like, it was the perfect game for me. It's very simple. You build a house, and then you have to put stuff in the right areas. You make deliveries in a delivery truck. You take orders at a restaurant. Just stuff that are really easy for a kid to do. And it's a game I've always wanted in my collection just because of the nostalgia for it, and I can never find it in the box. You only see it loose. Go on eBay, it's just all loose. And so I saw this right away for a really good price. I'm like, yep, I'm picking that up. So that was really, really cool. And the next one is a shooter that I heard really good things about from Nefarious West, and the cover's a little faded. There's no manual. There's a sticker on the cartridge, but it was about $20-30 cheaper than what it would normally go on eBay for a box missing the manual. So I'm like, I'm gonna go with it. That's Troubleshooter. This is an excellent shooter. It's really cool. So you play as 2 girls, and you can change which way the second girl is shooting by pressing, I believe, the C button. So sometimes she can shoot the same direction you do, or she can shoot behind you. But what's nice is if she gets hit, you don't lose health. You only have to worry about yourself. So sometimes it gets a little confusing. Like, I'll just see the whole person, or I'll see both people, and like I'll try to avoid it with the brunette, but it's like she actually doesn't need to watch out for projectiles and stuff. But really fun game. I know there's a sequel that did not come out over in the United States or North America, and I know Wes said that it's actually even better than this one, but this is really cool to get and add to the collection. Next, I went to Foster's over in Broadhead. Now, this is a place I don't like to go to very often because with Foster's, their prices are all over the place. You're just as likely to find something for 20 bucks underpriced as you are to find something 20 bucks overpriced. And most of them are very overpriced. It's hard to find good prices there, but every once in a while you do. So, the first time I went there, because they said they were getting some Sega Master System games and some of them looked kind of interesting. Now, I didn't know if they were going to be on the shelf yet, so they just got them, and they weren't, but I did find some other really good ones. And the first one was Zillion 2, the Tri-Formation. So this is a really fun action platformer shooter. I haven't played the first one, but this is really cool. You start in the game on a bike, going through shooting these enemies. You can upgrade your weapon by collecting these tiles that have Z on them. You get the L tiles give you life. If you get the A, you turn into like this mech that can fly. And then you go into the run and gun type stages where you're going through trying to save hostages, trying to get to the end of the level and fight the boss. But really fun game. I didn't know much about this series, but this was one of those that I think was $10 underpriced. I'm like, and it's great condition, has the manual and everything. And so yeah, I picked it up. I was like, wow, this is a lot of fun. So now I definitely have to find the first one in the series. Next one is a game I learned about from Max Impact, and that is The Ninja. It's a pretty fun game. You go around trying to make your way through Japan using like shurikens and stuff. And one button shoots the direction you're facing, the other button shoots straight ahead every time. And it's pretty tough. You know, enemies just kind of show up out of nowhere. Sometimes they show up out of a rock. You can get scrolls to upgrade your power. And then the second level, it's more of like you're traveling diagonally. So it's kind of tough to get your bearings on how to shoot and stuff, but pretty fun game. Again, another game that was underpriced. I think this was about $5 underpriced charting. And again, beautiful copy, so I had to pick it up. Next game, Black Belt. Now this is the only game that was like at price charting. I got it for about $15. Again, it's a beautiful copy, so I was like, okay, paying that. But this is kind of like Kung Fu on the NES. Side-scrolling, you're fighting way through enemies until you get to the end where you kind of fight a boss, and then you go on to the next chapter. There are some mini-bosses along the way, but it's a lot of fun. I think it looks better than Kung Fu. I know a lot of people, we know that the Master System, like hardware-wise and spec-wise, is actually better than the NES. But I usually prefer games on the NES, but this was a lot of fun. So I was glad to pick that one up. And then the final one I picked up that day was one I've been looking at for a while, Fantasy Zone. An excellent shooter on the Master System. Again, complete in box, beautiful copy. The label's really good, the manual's good. And this one was about $20 underpriced. I could not believe, especially at Foster's, like they never have good prices. So as soon as I saw that it was about $20 underpriced, I'm like, yep, I'm taking that. And it's really fun. It's cool. Like it just, the levels loop around, so you just keep going in a circle, and you have to destroy all these pods that are releasing enemies. Once you do that, you go fight the boss, and then every once in a while, as you're killing enemies, you collect coins, and then a little shop icon will show up, and you can buy upgrades to your wings, to your engine, to your bombs, to your weapon. I'm kind of getting annoyed. I don't like the weapon upgrade because it only works for a certain amount of period of time, and then it goes back to your regular weapon. You have to buy another one. That's kind of dumb. I feel like you should keep your weapon unless you die or something. But still, it's a really fun game. I have not played the NES version, but so far this was a lot of fun. So glad to pick that up. So then I did ask a couple days later when they were putting those other Master System games out on the shelf, and they said they just did, so I ran over there to check out again. And yeah, it was pretty bad. One of the games I wanted was Wonder Boy in Monsterland, and they wanted for the box and game, no manual, and it wasn't in the greatest condition, for $70. You can go on eBay right now and get a complete in box copy for $50. That's what I'm telling about. These prices there are ridiculous. I don't know where the owner gets them from sometimes. I feel like he just looks at the sold prices on eBay, and whatever's the one that sold the highest, that's the one he marks it. And it's just, they don't have much competition in the area unless you want to go all the way to Madison, which is a little bit further. But it's just like, I don't get it, the prices. But there were some games I wanted to pick up. I probably overpaid for some of these. But with such the great deal that I got on the Master System games, I was kind of okay with it. So first NES game we got was Starship Hector. This is a shooter that I originally heard about from Folk Raven Bear back at last year's Midwest Gaming Class. He said it was a good game, and then I know Max Impact again said this was a good game too. It's a pretty fun shooter. It's by Hudson Soft. you got one button that just shoots straight ahead. You got another button that shoots bombs for the vertical scrolling stage, and then there are some side scrolling as well. One thing I don't like about this game is I don't think there's any power-ups for your main weapon, which is kind of annoying. I feel like all shooters should have power-ups to weapons, but it's a really clean copy. I'm really getting into shooters lately, so I had to pick that one up. And then the next one is just a movie tie-in game, Total Recall. So I really like the movie. This is a cheap game. It was about $5. And I know not a lot of people like it, but when I was playing it, I was kind of having fun. I mean, the controls are kind of stiff. It doesn't really look like Mars when you're going through the levels, but you know what? With these old games, you know, it couldn't always do everything you wanted to make it look just like the movie. So from what I've played so far, it's pretty fun. And, you know, I didn't have it in the collection, so wanted to pick that one up. And then the next three, you got some Super Nintendo games. These are the ones I probably overpaid for, but it is all good. First one is RoboCop versus Terminator. It's one I've always wanted. I kind of want a complete box at some point just because the case for this is so cool on the Super Nintendo. But RoboCop basically is the reason that Skynet was created. In this game, it's connected to the comic books that were made, and you have to go around killing them and stuff. But it controls really well. You're able to explore levels both sideways as well as vertically. You can get upgrades to weapons and stuff, and I don't know, I had a really fun time with it. It was a game I wanted for a while, so I'm glad I finally picked it up. Next one is Ys 3 Wanderers of Ys. So I saw Great White North play Ys a while back, and it looked like an interesting game. Like, I'm not huge into RPGs, but I kind of liked the mechanic of like just bumping into people to attack them instead of like turn-based fighting. This is a little bit different. It is side-scrolling, so you don't bump into enemies. You just attack them with your weapon. But you can upgrade your weapon and your shield and your armor and stuff, and you still upgrade with experience and stuff. So it looked like a pretty fun game. I never see it anywhere, so I definitely wanted to pick that up when I saw it. And then third one was one I've always heard great things about that I really wanted, and that is Rock and Roll Racing. So this is like an isometric view racing game, very similar to like an RC Pro-Am. But I love the rock and roll part because the music in it is fantastic. It's like Black Betty and like Black Sabbath music and stuff. Very, very cool stuff as you're racing. And same thing like in Off-Road and RC Pro-Am and stuff. After you get the race, you get money, you can upgrade your car and stuff like that for the different tracks. So pretty cool. That's funny. When I bought this game, I go up there, goes, oh yeah, game prices are going up lately. That game's probably like a $60 game these days. They had marked, I think, for $45, and like I didn't want to tell them, but it's like it's actually like 35ish to 40 right now. It hasn't really gone up, but it's like I don't know where he gets his numbers from. It's insane, and that's why I really try not to go there, because I really don't want to support somebody who does such a bad job pricing their games. Like I've never seen anywhere with this bad of prices in this area, so it's pretty disappointing. And next, we're going to finish off like we usually do with PS4 game. So first, GameStop had a great deal for pre-owned games, $19.99 and under. If you bought 2 games, you got 20% off. 3 was 30, 4 was 40, and 5 and up was 50% off. So had to go with it, even though I was worried, because you never know what kind of cases you're going to get. So I actually bought 6 games. 1 was new, because it was so close to the price of the pre-owned anyway. So I was like, I'd rather have it new. And that is Man of Medan. So this is the second game in the Dark Pictures anthology, along with Until Dawn. This time you're on a boat, and some really weird things start happening and stuff, so you're trying to make your way through the boat and figure out what's going on. But I really like it so far. I loved Until Dawn, and so I definitely wanted to pick this one up. Of course, this one was brand new, and you know what GameStop does. They send it to you, and it doesn't have the shrink wrap on. So it's kind of annoying. I hate how GameStop does that kind of stuff. It's like, that's not a brand new game anymore. You would think a company that works with games would understand that's not a brand new game anymore. It should not be full price. So, but unfortunately, because my GameStop is closed right now with no curbside pickup or anything, there's nothing I can do about it. So now I'll get into the games that were pre-owned, and luckily only one came in a GameStop case, which is pretty sweet. First one, Knights of Azure 2, Bride of the New Moon. So this is like an action RPG. I have Knights of Azure 1 that I got back a few months ago, and it's just really, really fun. I love the art style. I love the action of the game. And so, you know, this was one that was high on my list to get, and I've really enjoyed it so far. Definitely got to play through the first one first before I actually play through that. Next, there was a game that came out recently. Neo 2. And so I really like Neo from what I've played of it, and so I was like, oh, I'm going to pick up Neo 2 since it's dropped in price a little bit. And it's a little bit different. This time you actually create your own person, like you create their look and everything. Haven't played it a lot, so it's very similar to the first Neo, but it does seem a little bit different. Definitely got to go through the first one first before I play that one. Next one was Schoolgirl Zombie Hunter. And this is a third-person shooter that you're going through the world where zombies have taken over, and you play as one of 5 high school girls. You can choose who you want to be, and they have different weapons and stuff. And it's pretty fun. You go through each level searching for stuff. It doesn't control it great, but it was one of those games I'd never heard of before, and I kind of like to buy more games like that than like well-known games. Plus, I feel like you're more likely to get it actually in the case than in a GameStop case. Next game was a VR game that I've wanted for a while, Until Dawn: Rush of Blood. This one is you ride in a roller coaster, and it's an on-rail shooter, and you're going around through this kind of like nightmarish, like fun house, and you have to shoot things as you go. I know Chris Pico said it was kind of okay. There's not much to it. It's just an on-rail shooter, but I had fun with it so far. I loved Until Dawn, so I had to get that. And then the one game that came without a case, Last Guardian. Of course, one had to be without a case. So what did I have to do? I went online and just bought the actual game. So now if anybody wants a loose copy of Last Guardian, let me know. You can have it. So this is the same creators of Ico and then Shadow of Colossus. And so you wake up and you're by this huge monster that you're afraid of, and you need to like befriend it and get it to trust you so you can get out of where you're at. But it's just like Shadow of Colossus and Ico. It's beautiful, beautiful game. Really excited to play through that game. I think Chris Pico mentioned he really liked that one. So here we give it a shot. Then next, for that next couple games, I follow Cheap Ass Gamer on Twitter, and every day he's listing games that are on sale and stuff, and so some of them look pretty cool. This one I think was about $12. That's Flipping Death. So this is a cool game. So you play as, I think Penelope? Is that her name? Yep, Penelope Dowood. And you're kind of very interested in death and stuff like that. And your boss doesn't really like it, so he fires you. And you're driving home with your boyfriend to hang out with him, and you get in an accident and you die. And so you don't believe it, but the Grim Reaper comes and he goes, oh, sweet, I need a vacation. And so you take over for the Grim Reaper. And why it's called Flipping Death is because you can flip back and forth between the dead world and the real world, and you have to solve puzzles by talking to taking over people's bodies in the real world and getting them to do stuff for you, so then you can use that in the dead world. It's a really, really cool mechanic. So really glad I picked that one up. Then another game that was very cheap. Oh shoot, I messed that up. So Neo 2 was just cheap. It wasn't part of the deal. This is a game that I got from GameStop, Gravity Rush 2. And so I've always been interested in the Gravity Rush series. I've heard good things. Gravity Rush Remaster on the PS4 is ridiculously expensive. I'd love to play it, but unfortunately I'm not going to be getting it anytime soon. But this one picks up right where that story left off. Basically, you lost your powers. You can no longer use your gravity attack because you lost your cat. I think that's what it was, Dusty. And so first no one believes you and stuff that you have to have these powers, and you have to like prove it to them. And so you do find your cat and you get these powers back. It's cool. Like you can just kind of float through the air. You just point in the direction you want to go, and then you press the button, you go there, and you can stop anytime and stuff. I've heard really good things about that game. And so really excited to get into it. So hopefully I can get the first one at some point so I can play that one. Next one is a remaster from the Dreamcast, Shenmue 1 and 2. So another game that was, I think, like $10 cheaper than normal from that Cheap Ass Gamer talked about. And I figured, people love these games, so I thought I'd try it out. Now, I normally like to play games on the original console, but sometimes I do make an exception. And, it's a 2-pack. It's got both games. Comes with a double-sided poster and stuff. It's kind of just an action-adventure game. You're going around trying to figure out why someone killed your father and stuff. So you have to talk to people and figure out where to go and stuff. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I think the voice acting kind of is weird. It sounds like it's still like the exact same Dreamcast stuff. They didn't upgrade that at all. But, it is what it is. And then the last two are some PSVR games because thanks, Pico. Now that I have the PSVR, you got me all into buying games. So another cheap-ass gamer one talked about. It was on sale, so I saw it. I'm like, well, I'm going to pick that up. And that is Accounting Plus. So this is a funny game. So you join this company and you're the accountant, and they tell you to put your VR goggles on, and you do that, and all of a sudden you go to a different VR world. They're like, oh my god, what happened? We gotta get you out of there. Because there's this guy in this tree that is swearing at you and mad at you because you're messing with his stuff. You're like, what the hell is going on? So each time you gotta like figure out where the VR goggles are, solve the puzzle, and then you put it on, you go somewhere else. It's really, really fun. And it's, I think, from the creators of Rick and Morty, I think I heard, so that was pretty cool. And speaking of Rick and Morty, another game from the creators of that, Trover Saves the Universe. So while I was looking at accounting, I said this was like $5 or $10 cheaper than normal. Like, well, I'm gonna pick that one up too. And so you control a Cherothian or something. I don't know. I guess you sit all the time. And this big evil guy steals your dogs and puts it in his eye sockets and is now stronger than ever. And so Trover comes and needs to help you save the universe. So you control Trover. He could fight and move and everything. And then if he gets to a teleport pod, you press a button and then you'll teleport to that spot, and then you can move Trover again. And you just keep going through the levels. But so far, it's another game that just seems really, really fun. So glad I picked that up. And yeah, getting really into the VR. So there you go. That's what I picked up for the month of May. A lot of good games again. Really glad to get out game hunting a little bit, get some more retro games. So hopefully good to go to Madison one of these weekends soon, so I can actually get some good prices on retro games, unlike at Foster's. So, but you never know. I'll go there every once in a while. It's only a half hour away. Just, you never know. Sometimes you do find good deals there. So let me know what you think. Appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, this is Captain Algebra, signing off.